I worked at I worked at several studios, and my third job in was I was a story editor at the studio called Carolco Pictures back when we were making Terminator 2 and Cliffhanger and uh, a whole bunch of other movies. Basic Instinct. We made all those and a lot more. So we had a lot of material constantly coming in that we were buying. And every studio has to have someone sitting there. And back then it wasn't digital, it was actual screenplays coming in unsolicited just from people around the world saying, "Can you make
Hmm.
my movie?" Or "Here's an idea," or "Here's a treatment. Do you think it'd be a good movie?" We couldn't even read those. If it doesn't come from an agent or an entertainment lawyer that we know, we being any studio, then I was the guy that had to write the form letter up saying, "Hey, sorry, but this is an unsolicited manuscript," sending it back to you unopened in a separate, in a new envelope, put their whole thing
Legal
in, like,
purposes to
it's like
protect
kryptonite.
yourself. Yeah, I get
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because it could be. See, here's the thing: any studio back then, and to some degree today, they're developing anywhere from 250 to 350 projects typically. Um, some
Got
of
it.
them are sequels, some of them are whole new things, and it could be we have something already in active development that's exactly like this story, and we're already doing it, but we don't announce it. So it's like,
Get
no,
that.
we can't read your stuff. It's an unsolicited manuscript. It's the same thing here. So if Disney has just given $1 billion so that people can create new fun fan based stuff with Disney and Marvel characters and whoever else, Lucasfilm, um, that gets into a little bit of a legal quagmire, and it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my question, because I can see the other side of this. If I'm Disney and I say, I don't care what you've created, you're using my images, you're using my actors. You can't do that. These images of Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Disney owns Bugs Bunny now, don't they? I
No,
believe
that's
they
Warner
do.
Brothers. Yeah, soon
Is
Paramount
it
will
Warner
own Bugs
Brothers?
Bunny. Yeah, it's
Okay.
Warner Brothers. Yeah.
All right. If you use Bugs Bunny or any of, Daffy Duck, you know, you, you're basically stealing our image, and you're doing is putting words in it, like a ventriloquist type of deal, and you can't do that.
Well, Disney is allowing
I
it to
get
happen
the
for the first time. Yeah, but they're
yeah.
warning everybody. There's been legal letters going out today, yesterday, the day
Hmm.
before, telling YouTube and everybody else. YouTube just responded to it this morning, actually, the letter they got.
Hmm.
They're sending out cease and desist orders. They're saying now the only place that you can monkey around with anything Disney owns is with Sora. Nobody else gets to. So they told all the other platforms, don't monkey with our characters. Don't let anybody use our characters. If you do, then it's on you. We're going to send our lawyers, and they have the best lawyers in the business,
and
famously.
and this is part of the whole thing when you guys were out on strike. What was it, two
Mm.
years ago or so?
Yeah.
The actors were going crazy because they could see the handwriting on the wall, whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
call it, the image on the
Yeah.
film, that their likeness nowadays with AI can be stolen by someone in Nebraska,
Mm-hmm.
basically, and have words put in their mouth. And we're seeing it. We're seeing
Yeah.
it with politicians and these little meme videos on TikTok and
Yep.
Instagram, YouTube also, where people are basically having George Clooney, Brad Pitt say outlandish things. They never
Right.
said them. And, destroying
Yeah.
basically their image, possibly.
And yep. And the deep fakery has gotten so good and so accurate, that it's getting so that you can't tell easily. You can't tell them apart. So that's the other thing. You touch on something really important. So if you can go into Sora now, sign the legal disclaimer of whatever they've got going, and use Disney characters to create your own stories with, essentially that's what they're promoting. That's what they're saying. Then yeah, anything that has a live actor, like Chris Hemsworth plays Thor. Can you do, like, you could create Thor like doing something ridiculous that Chris Hemsworth would get really ticked off about? I'm sure that that's
Absolutely.
what all the actors are thinking right now. I'm a writer, so we were also afraid of what AI would do in terms of anybody can write a script now without having to think about it, and it's all based on our material that we've already sold and it's out there.
Because
I've sold
this is
26 different projects, and it's all out there. It can be scraped and created, recreated into a different movie or So that's why this has all been really murky the last 2 or 3 years.
And you remember the Supreme Court dealt with this. They dealt with public satire from Hustler magazine. What was it?
Yeah,
And
right.
Larry
Yeah,
Flint in the
yeah.
1980s or 1970s when he did something obscene with, I don't know, some politician or something like that. The politician got
Hmm.
angry, and Flint basically said, look, everyone knows this is satire. Everyone
Hmm.
knows this is fake.
Yeah. I know the two guys because we were all in film school together at the same time at USC. The two guys that wrote that movie you're referring to, The People versus Larry Flint, Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski, great guys. Um, they wrote that, and it was all about that, and it's because it was
Yeah, I
a
remember.
precedent for free speech that yeah that actually has stood the test of time in a lot of ways. It was an
So, so
interesting story. It's a good movie. Yeah.
what I'm pointing out here is that this isn't about free speech. This is about stealing people's likeness
Hmm.
and basically putting words in their mouth, which can be very dangerous, I think.
Right.
So I agree
Yeah.
with that.
All content on the Risk Reward Show is for entertainment purposes only and not to be construed as financial advice. The hosts are idiots. They don't know what they're doing. They just walked in from the street. It wasn't even Wall Street. Investments involve risk, so please consult a qualified professional before making decisions.
Let's go into our predictive survey part of it. A few questions for you. Okay? Who's going to win the NFC and AFC championships in the National Football League? And who's going to win the Super Bowl at this point? It's a
You're asking my
crazy year
prediction?
in football,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, well, it's funny. I'm a fan of two different teams. The one I grew up with, which is the San Francisco 49ers. We used to have season tickets and
Hmm.
went every Sunday to that Candlestick Park crap stadium, which no longer exists.
Hmm. Yeah.
And, yeah, the Los Angeles Rams. When the two of them play, I'll root for the Niners. But I think they're both going to probably go into the playoffs, and I think the Rams have the best hand of cards right now, barring injury. I think the Rams might wind up going to the Super Bowl again. Um,
Okay. And who
I
from the
yeah,
AFC? Who from
AFC.
the AFC?
Uh,
Crazy year.
I don't know. Who do you think? Who do you think from the AFC?
It's a
Lions are
good
pretty good.
question. No,
Lions are in
the
the AFC,
Lions,
aren't
you
they? Or
said?
the
Lions are in the NFC.
they're in the NFC. That's
So
right.
I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
actually the Packers could wind up going to the Super Bowl. It's Packers or the
Really?
Rams, but I would lean into the
Mm-hmm.
Packers because I think they play in a slightly more difficult division, although Seattle is a dark horse here. Okay. And from the
Yeah.
AFC, New England's playing very well, but I
I
think their
know.
schedule has not been very difficult. That
Mm-hmm.
leaves the door open to someone maybe like the Chargers or the Broncos,
Mm-hmm.
possibly getting to
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah. The
And
Chargers
so
keep
I
hanging
think,
on by their teeth.
yeah, but it's a
They're interesting.
strange year. Everyone's doing
Yeah.
weird things. The Bears are playing much better now. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
pick them for the Super Bowl. I'm a Bear fan, and I'm not going to put the bosh on them by saying they're going to even win a game. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
hoping things continue to improve. But
I do
let's
too. I'm
say
a Caleb
I
Williams fan. Yeah.
when it comes down to it, the LA Rams keep surprising people. Maybe it's the Rams who will win the Super Bowl. Maybe.
I think so.
I
That's
don't
if
know.
I had money to bet on it, or if somebody told me to bet on it, then I would probably bet on the Rams. Yeah.
I really didn't give an answer. I just want to point out here that Nico Harrison did get fired. The fellow that traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers in what
Right.
we called the worst trade in history. And people are trying to say, well, it's not all his fault. He didn't know Anthony Davis was going to get hurt. Yes, yes. That was very easy to predict, actually.
No.
So Nico, I don't think will work. Here's the question. Will he work in the NBA again as an executive?
Nope. I don't think so.